Okay, now you can just keep breathing and visualizing and letting it basically manifest. There are ways you can help it to um, manifest too. Um, at your feet, you can imagine the bud is black. You can chant the lowest comfortable tone you can do. Oh, you can chant it. And you can imagine you can just start chanting that if you want. Then in your groin area, which is a moderately low tone, you can see the bud as red. And let me see if I can. And you can chant I. In your heart area, you can have the sunset red or the neon blue, depending what you're doing. You use a middle tone, and you use O. Your throat, you use the color green. You use a moderately high tone, and you use E. Or I think I'm going to. You also have to experiment because I've found that if I hit the right general tone, the body will vibrate. The final one, the crown, and this is probably the one you'd want to do first, you will have a brilliant white. If you've ever seen sodium or magnesium burn in chemistry class, it's that brilliant, overwhelming white color. And you do the highest comfortable tone you can, and this is sort of tricky for me, so don't laugh if I'm trying to find it, but you do ooh, like boot. Ooh. You can also use stones to hold to do this. You would want a small piece of selenite to help you bring up the energies from the crystalline grid down below. Again, I see it more rainbow color, but a lot of people see it as a mother of pearl, sort of abalone rainbow material. You'd hold a piece of selenite, and it would have to be the striated version because it would be helping bring it up. You could use a piece of black onyx or obsidian for the mineral kingdom. For the red, you'd use red jasper or red ruby or red garnet. If you're doing the neon blue for the heart, you could use aquamarine. You could use blue calcite. If you're doing the sunset pink, you could do I can't think of the stone now. Now the sunset pink, and maybe, okay, the sunset pink represents um, the other kin or humanity. The neon blue represents Gaia's mind, or the rainbow grid. The green, you could use moss agate. You could use green aventurine. You could use jade, green jade. For the crown, I would recommend, if you have it, um, moonstone. You could, if you want, use a snow quartz or milky quartz, but I'd say moonstone because just the nature of it. Um, You also want to get what's called a barite rose, because barite, even though it feels very unpleasant, a barite rose in any color helps make you sensitive to the energies of the physical energies and the energies you're working with. Now, a couple things. One, you may work and work and work because you can tone while you're visualizing and breathing, and eventually that will help form the flower that forms the grid. However, if you've got some kind of karma with that kingdom, you may spend weeks doing it and nothing happened. And I will get, in the next video, I will get into exactly what the grids are. But I spent several days working on the plant kingdom, and then suddenly I had an image of the situation at work where when I started at work, I volunteered to take care of the plants using Reiki and my plant potion and basic knowledge. But after a while, the assistant manager, I had worked it out that I only did half an hour a couple times a month. I would just sit there and I wasn't doing anything for like 5-10 minutes on each of the plants. And we had mothers-in-law's tongues that were blooming. I've had people come in who've never seen, after 25 years of taking care of plants, who've actually grown mother-in-law's tongues. Nobody's ever seen them blooming. And we were having 3 or 4 plants blooming, and blooming all the time. You know, blooming in winter, blooming in spring, blooming in summer. And they everyone was amazed, how come these plants are blooming? Well, it was just me with the Reiki and the plant potion, and I'd say, be your best, be beautiful, be happy. And the assistant manager would start making comment, oh, don't do Reiki today. We got important things to do, because I'd come in before work to do the opening, getting the place cleaned up, ready to open the store shift. And she'd say, don't do it. Because she's the type that never stops. She's got MS and she's got to just, and that's just her space, which is cool. In my case, though, I was sitting very quiet and it looked like I was wasting time. So it's just, you've got a difference of opinion, but I basically got to the point where I got twice it happened and I figured I'm not going to deal with it anymore. So I stopped taking care of the plants. And that became negative karma against me when it came to the plant kingdom. That has been dissolved because I've worked with a co-worker. I create plant potion for her. I gave her a stained glass bottle. I have helped her start taking care of the plants. I do not directly take care of them. I do not do the Reiki, but at least I've given her the plant potion and the plants are slowly recovering, because for like 3 months, nobody was taking care of the plants, including not me. And it was a matter of principle, because I was sitting there and she saw it, and it's just difference of personality. But it wasn't worth the power struggle. I just said, okay, you don't want it, I'm not going to do it at all, because I don't have my mother's green thumb. If I didn't have Reiki and my plant potion, those plants would be up. I don't know what my mother knows as a master gardener of the state. So that's an example of having karma that interferes. Now it's starting to blossom because I was able to overshift the karma. So you may discover something like that happens. You may work and work, and if it doesn't work, just take time out, focus on something else, and go back. And sometimes after you do something like that, you'll suddenly get an image of what's blocking, and then you can get rid of it. Then the next one, we'll talk about what actually happens when the flower opens and the chakra grid manifests.